Okay, well, welcome to number 2 of our meetings of the fabulous grant writers. So my little update from today is tomorrow, the first book vending machine is being delivered to Center Hall Elementary School. And up until today, we did not yet have approval from the superintendent. And it was kind of like moving forward, but not quite sure we can move forward because it's a, so I live in central Pennsylvania. State College, where Penn State University is a fairly open, welcoming community, but you go a couple towns over and it's not quite so much. And I was a little concerned whether the book vending machine would pass through the school board and the superintendents, and it did. So I'm super excited. This first one, it's going to be a little bit of a dancing routine to get books into schools that need to have these good books without triggering the anti whatever, woke, whatever you want to call it, going on in America. So it's interesting. I have another organization in town that is called Rise, and they are doing basically providing free books, inclusive, diverse books to schools. And they can't get the books into the schools even when they're giving them to them. So what I'm going to do is then take their books and just include them in my book vending machines without yelling inclusive and diverse in those areas, but getting them into the schools. So it might be a nice little side door to get into some schools there might be pushback, but if it's the whole school is getting free books, that there might be enough incentive for the school to go ahead and allow us to come in anyway. Hey, so I'm at my friend's house up in one of my authors actually up in where am I? Briarcliff Manor, and I brought my dog and they have a bunny. So my dog, she's going to continue to whine and want to eat the bunny. Hopefully I get her to quiet down. Anyway, well, welcome back to number 2. I'm super excited to have you guys all back again. You were all here last time, so we have all the introductions. There are a couple that couldn't make it today, so we'll record this for them. And why don't you guys just start with, why don't you say your names again, just so we can have another face and name recognition. I need that as well. And then to say one thing of exciting that you discovered on your journey this week. I got to get this dog to go somewhere else. Come here. Don't cry. Stop whining. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, she's going to settle down. Okay, so why don't you start up, Catherine?
All right, I'm Catherine Joswick, and this is probably going to date me, but I finally figured out how to post something on Instagram with my laptop. I created an Instagram page for our food pantry, or the food pantry I work for, and to reach a younger audience, the director, I actually suggested this to him that we get an Instagram page. And so I set it up, and I had never posted through a laptop before. So I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. I just Googled how to do it. So yeah.
I think it is kind of new. I don't think they did that from the beginning. I think there was some point where you couldn't post from your computer. So
yeah, it was just mobile. So yeah, you can post from your laptop. If you don't know that, you can.
Okay, how about Kayla?
Hi. So it's been kind of a slow week, I guess. I've just been kind of doing some research and working a little bit on the grants. So you already know, but I guess I'll share with everyone else. So I tried to reach out locally or found schools that would be a good place to reach out to in my area. So I figured that the Franklin McKinley School District would be a good place to start. So I'm hoping to get our proposal out to them after our meeting. But other than that, that's kind of all.
Okay, awesome. How about Tanea?
Hey everybody, I'm Tania. One great thing that happened for me this week, it doesn't really have to do with grant, but I will talk about that in a second. I put in for my homeowners program and I will be buying a home soon. So I'm
That
very
is
excited.
very
for
exciting.
that.
Congratulations.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
And that,
in
is
terms
that
of-
in the Baltimore area?
Yes, yes. And in terms of grants, I realized I got an email from Kayla, I believe, and she's asking about the process in which to write a grant. And so I realized that some of us may not know the overall process it takes to write a grant. So I have a grant that I've already written that I'm going to be sharing with you all so that you all can get just the gist of, you know, how grants are supposed to go, because there's a process and it has a different stages that you have to go through in terms of what your mission is, what is the ultimate goal of what you're trying to do with your program, and how much that program is going to cost, and why you need certain stakeholders to sort of be a benefactor with that grant that they're giving you. And so I think that that would be a good start for us if I just give out that information on grants.
That would be awesome. And maybe we can all look at that together. Maybe you can give us a short, once we have our final introduction, maybe we'll
Mhm.
start with that and have you do like grant writing 101 and present that to us. That'd be fabulous. I'd love to have you do that. So we'll come right back to you, Tanea, and we'll have Lauren finish up here.
Hi, I'm Lauren. So something exciting. While I was doing research for our project, I came across a lot of interesting grants that I felt could help some of my clients. I work with kids with autism, and so I have a lot of parents who are always like, hey, do you know anything about like certain special needs kind of groups and stuff? So as I was kind of doing work for this, I was like, oh, hey, this could also like, this website also has resources for my clients, and I got really excited because I always feel bad when I'm like, hey, I don't really know, but I'll look. But now I have some answers. So that was pretty cool.
Awesome. Very exciting. Then let's just dig right in and have Tanea give us grant writing 101. I don't know, can I allow you to share your screen? How do I do that? Multiple.
What you would do is you would go to share, and
Okay.
you would say, give this person hosting abilities, and that would allow that person to share
Okay,
their
I
screen.
think I have it. I think I have it now set up correctly. See if you can share.
Let's see, because I'm on my phone. My laptop is giving me some problems, so I'm hoping that I can still do this. Hold on. I'm trying to share my screen on my phone, you guys. I'm not thinking that it's going to allow us to do it. I'm going to try one more time just to make sure that I can do this. If I cannot, in any case, I will definitely forward it to you guys so that you all can have it.
The other thing you could do if it doesn't work is you could send it to me and I could share it.
Oh, you know what? That also works. I'm going to do that right now.
I'm the queen of workarounds.
Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm going to share that document.
Yep. And you can also just share it in the chat.
If you copy and paste it, I think it appears in the chat so that we can all just open up the link from the chat also.
That would be good too. You guys probably are all very well versed now in Zoom calls from the last couple of years. It's interesting. I've been talking to a couple kids, the daughter of the family that I'm staying with here. And I was talking about something about how it was difficult for my daughter during the last 2 years of high school being under COVID. And she's like, oh, I forgot about COVID. And I thought, well, I wonder how fast kids are forgetting about it, or how much it still is completely a part of their lives, and how it's still affecting the way they think and move and react to things. So just a little side commentary there. Okay, here we go. We have the document. I need access. I'm not in the right.
Hold on, I'll give you access. Just request it and I will allow you it.
Okay. You could put that in the Google Docs that are the grant writers collaboration. Have you all looked at that? Have you all found the grant writers collaboration
Yes.
Google Docs setting?
Yes, I have some pointers, and I also wanted to know if I could make some adjustments to the
Absolutely.
document, if that's okay.
Absolutely. It was just I wanted to put something up so we could get started. And I know there are better ways of collaborating. And I was going to reach out to see what you guys thought about other better ways of collaborating than just using Google Docs. I kind of love, like, I'm a very visual person, so I know there are some where it's like your screen, you can have like message boards and can have like group things, but I don't know what that software is or how it works. So if any of you have experience with some other kind of just collaborative working, virtual working, that would be great.
I know that GroupMe is a great tool that we can use to kind of stay in contact with each other. If we all run across some grants that we might, feel that are great for your program, it may work. I'm
Okay.
seeing Trello.com might be good to use.
Yeah. Yeah, I've used it before and it seems like it's pretty user friendly. It's easy to share attachments and photos and stuff like that. So yeah, if anybody's familiar, I used it for a freelance project a couple times. I liked it. I thought it was pretty yeah, usable.
Okay, I'll check that out. Add that to my list of to-dos.
All right, so I shared access with you.
Okay.
So hopefully you can get it.
Okay. So here it is. I am going to now share my screen. Share screen.
Hooray!
I'm sharing. Okay, here we are. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So
So this
Go
is
ahead.
a grant proposal that I written in about 2019, and it's for the MOVE initiative that I founded, just to create healthy lifestyle changes in children and to combat childhood obesity. And so what we're seeing here, let's see if I can get in. So you want to address the person whom you're trying to get money from. So you want them to feel like you're a friend. Okay. So you want to kind of pull them in and say, hey, this is what I've created. And here's a brief synopsis of what it is and why I think you should donate money on my behalf. And so if you could scroll down, please. All right, go past here. And you have your contact information that you want to add there. You see my name there, and you can keep scrolling. And so as you see, it's all separated and everything has a different subheading. All right, you're gonna keep coming down. All right, so what you would do, you also need to have an abstract. What your abstract is, it's just a brief synopsis, again, of what your program is, what you created, and why you need a specific thing. So you're gonna quote a specific amount of money that you want to collect, and make sure that you do it in a very succinct way. So your next step will be your statement of need. So you're gonna say, hey, we know that inner city children do not have access to books. The issue is this: we don't have access to books. Children who are from lower income backgrounds can't really afford to go out and grab these books, and they don't have access to resources. So you want to make sure that you highlight the fact that this is a problem that needs to be addressed. And this is why we need this money. This is why we created this program. Okay, so you want to keep going. And then you're going to give a program description. So your program description is basically just a description of what your program is. Again, so it's very, very repetitive. You're gonna notice that a lot in grant writing. It's a lot of repetitive wording. It's all about different ways to say the same things, like 3 times. Legitimately, that's what it is. So then you're going to go over your goals and objectives of your program and some of the things that you want to highlight that you feel would kind of sway stakeholders or other people who are going to, or your benefactors who are going to give you money. So you want to sway them. So these are what your objectives are. And you're going to say, if you're giving me this money, this will help me meet these goals and objectives. Okay, so then you have your timeline for everything that you want to do in terms of how you're going to get your program started, how you're going to get your grant information, how you're going to receive the money. So you're going to get your proposal submitted. So everything that you have to do has to remain on a strict timeline, and everything has to be broken down. So you see the chart. You'll start with submitting your grant proposal, your expected notification. So there's after you do the grant, there is fur baby's barking.
Yeah, my host family is coming home and the dogs are gonna go crazy. So I just removed myself to another space. Sorry.
It's quite fine. I have a fur baby myself, so I understand.
I'll turn off my
Okay, so what we do next is just a complete breakdown of what's going to happen within your program. And each of those have dates, and you just really succinctly break them down quickly. This isn't really difficult. You just go through and you find out exactly what it is that the components of your program or your project. And so then you give a brief synopsis of your budget, and then your budget is just basically saying, you're asking for this amount of money to cover specific expenses of your program, okay? And you see the breakdown of the budget here that I have, which was a really small grant that I was going out for, a cool $250, which is not really anything, it's change, but it was good enough to start a workshop. All right, and so we're gonna go down to evaluation. Now, initially, the evaluation portion of your grant proposal is extensive. It can be anywhere from 10 pages to 20. And that's just to be frank. However, when you're doing a quick grant, you want to make it really succinct, really compact, and you want to say exactly what it is that you're evaluating and how you're going to prove that this program or project actually works. Okay? And so going further, you're going to see an introduction of my staff that I came together with. I created a team, and we decided that we were going to attack the program and actually get this ball rolling. So you see the introduction of my team, and then you have the references there for them. And then this is the end of it, but you could also make sure that you address the person that you're trying to get the money from, and you can say, hey, thank you for listening to me. I hope that you would donate this money on our behalf and to make our program better and to assist with the success of our program. And so that's really basically it. I hope that helps you all in some type of way. Let me know if this helps you, or if you may need some more pointers, or if you have any pointers for me to make my grant writing better.
excellent. I have to move into another room because the dogs are still barking. So I'm moving further away from. There we go. Luckily, they have lots of spaces.
Why I have a quick question.
Okay, question?
I think this is a really good example, so thank you for sharing it with everyone.
Thank you.
What I was wondering was, so what would be, first of all, when we're reaching out, like in my case, if I'm trying to contact like a superintendent or a principal of the school, what would be the appropriate way to send my proposal forward to them? Is it all via email? And if so, if it is through email, what would be the correct way to attach it? Like, would it have to be a PDF file and then just write a brief little introduction in the email saying, hello, my name is so-and-so, and I have a proposal attached for your review? I'm just not really sure how that works.
So one thing that I was just going to mention regarding that is that so when we're reaching out to schools, that's like the one side of it where we're kind of selling the program. versus reaching out to funders who have funding to give us to make the program in the schools. And both aspects, I think, are really important for the project. We need to have schools that are interested in doing it. They have to know that it's going to be, how it's going to be funded. One of the things that Random Acts of Reading is doing is providing support and saying, this is the project, we'd love to have it in your school. This is how you could fund it. And if we have funding, we can say, well, in the case of the school that's getting it tomorrow, they are getting the machine for free as a loaner, and they're getting the books donated. So Random Acts of Reading is providing the books and the machine for this first one. I really just need to get it launched and needed to have somebody willing to provide me within the videos and the excitement and the trial run and the beta, testing everything, making sure all the different aspects work. So the superintendent wrote back and said, yes, we're delighted to have the machine under the conditions that it is free. You will remove it when we're done with it. The books are free. There's no advertising. They had very strict rules for getting their $11,000 free package of goods. But that's one thing to keep in mind, that there's that one aspect is like introducing it to the school and then saying there are funding opportunities. And then that would be the other side of it, where we're actually looking for the funding opportunities. But I think the things that you wrote in your letter and the thing that I wrote in my letter to the superintendent are very similar elements in pitching the concept. We're basically pitching the concept to the school to say, this is a really great program, you should do it. And then we're going to pitch the concept to the funders saying, this is a really great program, you should fund it.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
Yeah. So just to also be clear, it would be like, for the example that you had sent me the other day, would you just like email that entire Word document as it is, and then just have like a quick introduction above saying, this is what we're offering and you should do it?
Yeah, I can show you exactly what I did. Let me go over and find my letter to the superintendent. 2 seconds. Why is this not showing me anything that I sent? Oh my goodness, these dogs are going crazy. Well, I will include that somewhere else. I can't find it right on this fast. Brian, his name was. Ingrid. Okay, let me just find this real quick. Why is it not showing anything? Okay, here is my letter, and I will Zoom, share screen. So let's see if this is it. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, so down below, this is the superintendent. Dear Dr. Griffith, please find the introduction to our literacy concept attached below. I really look forward to working with your amazing team at Center Hall Elementary to implement this program. I did it kind of like it's already a done deal, because I already had the approval of the principal and the literacy, and I was just kind of wanted him to be like, oh, I guess this is going forward, I better approve it, which fortunately he did. And then simply on this letterhead, I like the putting in the breaks and bullet points. I think this is included, I think, on the Google Docs. I put it up there just recently, so you can see what I did. I think when I'm looking at it now, I think, oh, that's a lot of block text. Breaking it up with bullets is always good. Highlighting things that are, the most important would have been good. That's me looking at it now from a different perspective. Than I need to get this out there and get it approved as soon as I can. So, but that is included, as well as the one that Kayla wrote, are both on the Google Drive now, so you can have a look at those to see what we did for this. There are certain phrases that I think would be really good. Let's see if I have it in here, if I had it somewhere else. I was using words that would be like oh, this is that it's going to make you even more successful, and the things that you're already doing, and kind of giving them that, you know, pat on the back. You're already doing a great job, but this is a way we can make it even better. The machine can be leveraged as a pillar in the school's existing literacy support program. So you're already doing great things, but we're going to help you do even more great things. We'd be excited to help Center Hall Elementary demonstrate its leadership and innovative learning by becoming the first school to implement the program before it's launched nationwide. So I don't know if those phrases helped or not, but I tried.
I think that's a great start. That is. I think that's awesome. You did an awesome job.
No, thank you. I have little experience in this, so it's all new to me as well.
I do have a question. So in terms of addressing schools, we're not pitching it as though we want them to invest money. So we're just pitching it and saying, hey, we would like you to utilize the services that our program is offering. And then in terms of grants, that's a different pitch in terms of funding.
It depends on the school. The first pitch is, so I just created a page, a FAQ page on the website. How do I get funding? How do I fund this? And the first one was look to see what funding your school has. So there's a thing called ESSER, which is the funds that the COVID relief that schools across the nation got. I don't know how many billions of dollars in COVID relief funds. It has to be used for innovative education to help close the COVID learning gap. So that's the first thing is ask the school, do you have funding that you would like to use to do this? Does the school have a strong PTO? Would the PTO like to sponsor it? That was one thing I was discovering on my discussions with a principal, that if things are purchased by the PTO, it can, like, the PTO, if they were to be paying for this, the PTO could pay for it and not have to go through the regular channels, which the school would have to do, which would be to reach out, write a proposal to, they couldn't just say, yes, we'd like to pay this $11,000 and get the program. They would have to say, who would like to offer us this program? Is anybody else out there? They'd have to do a call for applications because it has to be sent out there to everyone before they choose one person. So the PTO, going directly to the PTO, is a very positive way of doing it, because they can then just say, we want to do this, we're going to put it in the school, here it is. And then if they don't have any funding ideas and they don't have any funds available, then we say, we'd like to help you develop your funds. And I think that's where I was trying to figure out, like, so if I want to, I'm looking for funding, do I say my program needs $5 million and I'd like to have it because I have this big idea and I want to do all these different programs? I think that's really difficult to then break that down into anything realistic, but I can say this school needs $11,000, and to break it down, looking at the grant writing from this micro perspective, for starters, might be just a little easier because we know exactly what we're asking for. If there are bigger grants that would be good for seed money, then we'd have to, like, break down what we actually need, who we need to hire, what are the expenses, things that I haven't done yet because I haven't had any funds to do anything. So I didn't create a spreadsheet of, well, I think I did actually. I'll have to pull that up and I'll share that with you guys as well. My original breakdown of what I thought the budget should be without having any funding for the budget. It was just kind of like a wishful thinking kind of perspective, but that would give you guys an idea of what it is that we're looking at. I'll put that in the Google Drive as well.
And it would be great for a starter budget too.
Yeah.
Especially for just putting it into the grant. So
yeah. And then to know that for each school, it's basically $11,000 to get started. I did a pitch today, for instance. I reached out because I knew I had the school. It was actually approved. So I reached out to my community, and I went through their, the Business Development Council for Downtown State College and looked at all the stores downtown that have some positive kid idea. So it's the Growing Tree children's toy area, the bookstore, there was an athletic store, and anything that was like at all kid related and positive kid healthiness related. And I wrote them all a pitch saying, you can start at $100 or you can be the full funder at $50,000. for like a nationwide title sponsorship. If you'd like to be involved, these are other people who are already involved, to kind of like once I have a couple people on board, then it's like, well, they're doing it, you should be doing it too. So I haven't heard any feedback from anybody yet, but I just sent that out this afternoon. So that'll be interesting to see if what kind of pull that has. And I think as it gets more and more popular and we have more important big people on board, that there'll be a draw to be like, oh, well, they're doing it, well, we should support this as well. So like if I can get Dolly Parton, that will be like a huge draw for everything else we do, because if she's supporting it, then other people will be like, oh, that must be good. And the fact that I got this little grant last week in my community, people know about this grant and I got it. So they must, if the Awesome Foundation liked it, then so does, so could we possibly. And I did see one of you had also looked at the Awesome Foundation. Was that Lauren?
Yeah, I thought it was so cool that they're like little mini chapters and they call them like micro grants. And I did see State College on there. I was like, I've heard that before. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's funny. But I thought that was really cool what they do.
Yeah. So just a heads up, if we run out of time, I would like to continue the conversation, maybe beyond the 3 minutes that are left. If we lose the call or when it runs out, please just log right back in and it will pick us right back up on the same call. Something I learned recently, that you don't have to create a new meeting, you can just jump back on it. Yeah, so that I think is an interesting way of looking at things too, of other ways of funding beyond the grants, of looking for community sponsors. I'll also put in my sponsorship tier. So we've got grants, which are like, as we've seen from Tanea's nice presentation, that are, this is what it's for, this is how we'll use it, this is how it's going to benefit people, this is the results and our evaluation. So that's one way of looking at it, of getting funding. And the other way would be saying, hey, give us money and we will tell people you gave us money, and you can be part of this great project without having to do any sort of direct responsibility of what's being done with that money, other than putting it towards good use. So just two different parts of fundraising, I guess. I guess I called you guys all in as grant writers, but fundraising and grant writing kind of go hand in hand, I think. Yeah, and maybe by next fall, we'll have, in addition to grant writing and fundraising, we'll have some sort of gala or some sort of big event that we draw rich people in who want to sponsor it as well. It's been on my list of things to do, and I think every year I go, oh, another fall has come and gone, and I didn't do a gala, but maybe this is the year. We'll see.
2023 is the year. Free money is the best money.
Yep. And I think once people get on board, so I'm in Chappaqua, we're near Chappaqua, and my author, who's also actually on the board of Random Acts of Reading, Laura, she has a bookstore in Chappaqua called Scattered Books, and that's where Bill and Hillary Clinton shop. So she's in contact with them on a monthly basis, at least. Whenever they order books, they order through her and they send somebody in to pick them up, or they come in themselves and browse the store. So it's like one of those connections where I can't really be like, let's go exploit it, but we might be able to get it in front of them in some way. And then we should all just be thinking about all the smart and famous people we know who are doing good work. I did put a couple of things in the list as well. I just saw yesterday on Twitter that Stephen Curry is doing stuff in literacy in Oakland, and he's got a neat foundation. And I added a bunch of other links to grants and other opportunities that looked really cool in that list as well, just below where you guys were putting things in. I think it's a nice way to kind of like share what we're doing and what we're looking at. And I think, Tanea, you said you had some ideas of making it better. So feel free to go ahead and adjust things. I had Google Docs previously for things, and people accidentally then copy and pasted, and then it deleted everything that the person did below them. So just be careful when you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm very well versed in it. I've worked on a team for so many years, so I've actually had that happen to me, where we had a collective PowerPoint within Docs, and one of us changed our PowerPoints. It changed everybody's PowerPoints.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna have us all hop off and I'll hop right back on.
All
And
right.
oh, it'll take me a minute longer because the recording has to record before I can get back on.